guys, Useless here, and today we are going to be reacting to... Sorry. Let me just start that over. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nerdy Movie News Roundup, the show where we round up all of the latest news in the world of nerdy movies. We're not reacting to anything. We're reacting to some news, I guess. I don't know. I already messed up this show, so let's just get into the first thing here. Geez, I didn't even properly have this set up, did I? That's crazy? What is happening here? I'm sorry. What the heck? Hold on. All right, here we go. I'm sorry. We're already messing up. Okay, first story. We got an official trailer for The Flash. Another one. This is the second trailer, and it looks good. I think that the movie looks compelling. I like the Flashpoint plot. Generally speaking, it's every time I've experienced it, it's been pretty good. I'm as excited as anybody to see Michael Keaton back as Batman. Whatever, soy face, point at the screen. I recognize him. I know who that is. I'm with all of that. The one thing that really takes me out of it, though, is that, and man, maybe I'm just getting jaded by big budget comic book movies at this point, or just Hollywood blockbusters in general, but the CGI just looks bad. Doesn't look good. I mean, and it kind of takes me out of it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, because it's like, yeah, like, sure, everything else looks fine and fun. Oh, look, it's General Zod. Wow, look, I know who that character is. I recognize him. Look, this is great, but I just wish the movie looked better. I don't know. Maybe the Batman just ruined comic book movies for all eternity. But like, and I totally get that there's a difference between this, which is like a bunch of like super powered nonsense. But just look at that scene. That looks bad. You see that? This looks terrible. But I guess, I don't know. I'm just like, why can't you look like the Batman? I don't know. Like, why can't you look good? And I get it. These are a bunch of superpowered beings doing superpowered stuff, but still, I don't know. You have millions of dollars, Warner Brothers. Just make it look better. But I don't know. Listen, if the movie's good, then the movie's good. I'm sure that once we're actually in the movie, and if the story is as compelling as I hope it is, that I just won't think about this stuff. But I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of what I was thinking about while watching this trailer. But I don't know, other than that, it looks fine. It looks fun. But yeah, well, we'll get into some other things about that later. Okay, next trailer. Black Mirror season 6. I'm not gonna lie, there's not really much to this trailer to like analyze really. It's just a bunch of random clips from the episodes. I can't really garner what any of these are going to be about ultimately. Except for that one there. Looks like it's going to take place in like, I don't know, like the 90s or early 2000s with that, like the Windows interface. But other than that, it's pretty vague, which I'm okay with because this is Black Mirror and I kind of want to go into these episodes not knowing what they're about. I feel like that is part of the allure of the series. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited. It's been like 4 years, I think, since the last season of Black Mirror, so they've been taking their time. So hopefully these are pretty good. All right, next trailer. We got a trailer for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Here's the thing: I didn't watch this trailer because I did not watch Bumblebee. Now, apparently, how this is all shaking out, and I read into this, I might be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but so this is no longer in the same universe as the Michael Bay Transformers movies. So I wasn't going to give this a chance anyways, because I didn't feel like going back and watching those movies, because I missed like the last two of those. But apparently this is not in that continuity, but it is in the continuity of Bumblebee. So technically, Bumblebee was technically a reboot, and so this movie is spinning off of that. So at this point, I think all I have to do is watch Bumblebee and then I'll be ready to watch Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. I think. And I've heard that Bumblebee is actually pretty good. So I'm kind of excited to watch that. But we shall see. I don't actually know. But yeah, we'll see. All right. And next up we have a trailer for Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So this is a Hunger Games prequel. And I think it's, so I guess the main characters are President Snow as a young man, and then like a girl. I don't think we see this girl in the Hunger Games movies, but yeah, I guess I can't tell if this is supposed to be like the first Hunger Games, like I think this is like when they invent the Hunger Games or whatever. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, this is like our new Katniss, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. It looks interesting, I guess. I can't say I'm too excited about this. I kind of got burned out on the Hunger Games. Like I can't really explain why, but they just got less interesting as the installments went along. But I don't know. Well, we'll see. Hopefully this brings back that Hunger Games furor that we had at one point in time. All right. Lastly, we got a trailer for Twisted Metal. I think that this looks kind of stupid, but maybe it'll be kind of fun at the same time. But you got Anthony Mackie in there as the lead. I'll be honest, I have no idea what Twisted Metal is about. I'd never played any of these games. But I just know that there's like a guy in a clown mask in them, and that I think it's about like car fighting, like cars with guns and crashing into each other. And you kind of get that a bit from this trailer. Anthony Mackie's in a car with guns on it, and then you get to the end of the trailer, and look, it's the guy in the clown mask. But yeah, other than that, I don't really know what to make of the trailer. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad. We shall have to wait and see. Okay, first story of the day. James Gunn confirms that we are going to get not necessarily Static Shock, but we are going to get some milestone characters, because this person tweets at him and says, or asks, do you have plans for Static or any of the other milestone characters? Animation? Elseworlds? And James Gunn basically just says a vague and cryptic yes. So yeah, we'll have to see what comes of this, because just judging by these tweets, we might get Static Shock, or we might get another milestone character. Whoever they end up doing, it might be animation, it might be live action, it might be in the proper DC universe, but it also might be an Elseworlds project. So we don't really know, but we are getting one of these things. It could be all of these things. It could be both my Static and other milestone characters, and it could be animated, and it could still be in the DC universe, but we don't really know the specifics here. Either way, my guess is that it'll be Static, since he has had a cartoon, and he is pretty, he is a pretty beloved DC character. So my guess is it'll be Static, and hopefully it is. I remember enjoying the cartoon as a kid, so I don't know. I'd be open for it. All right, next up, David Harbour says something about Thunderbolts. We'll start reading from here. I read the script. It's real good. It's just really good. Marvel is changing it up, revealed Harbour to Entertainment Tonight at CinemaCon 2023. They're always surprising, but this team in particular and what they're doing, what this means in the universe, is its own thing. That's really interesting. But the team itself and the way the movie comes together is very different from any other Marvel movie I've seen. So that's kind of it's one of those things where it's like, oh, actor says the project he's in is good. Wow. What a wild, wacky thing. So it doesn't necessarily mean much, to some skeptical people out there. But honestly, the first thing that I find weird about this is that David Harbour says that he's read the script. Now, most of the time, Marvel doesn't, at least from what I've understood, Marvel doesn't actually give out their scripts because of how secretive they are. they only let people read like very limited amounts of things that they personally are going to be performing. But first of all, I find it weird that David Harbour is saying that he's read the entire script. So that's kind of weird. And overall, I mean, yeah, I would land in the skeptical thing and the skeptical part of this. Just because it's like, yeah, I mean, what else is he gonna say? But also I will say I could see it being true. I mean, Thunderbolts is just inherently kind of a weird project to make. I mean, I think Marvel has to know that people are just kind of viewing it as a Suicide Squad ripoff movie. So I feel like if they are going to do something weird like this, I'd have to imagine it would have to be something pretty interesting. But I don't know. Well, we'll see. It could just be more of the same. I don't know. Okay, next up. Paul Atreides or Timothy Chalamet will ride a worm in Doom 2 at some point. So yeah, they showed off, I guess, a trailer. Yeah, there was a trailer that was shown off at CinemaCon. But yeah, apparently somewhere in the trailer, Chalamet rode a worm. I don't know. It's not really any more news other in this article other than that, really. Okay, and then next up, Denis Villeneuve, the director of Dune Part 2, said something kind of interesting that I feel like kind of I'm just gonna say it. It proves me right. Okay, we'll start reading here. As reported by The Hollywood Reporter, Villeneuve talked up Dune Part 2's more action-oriented narrative during a panel at CinemaCon 2023. Dune Part 1 is more of a contemplative movie, he said. AKA, it was kind of boring. He said, Part 2 is an action-packed, epic war movie. It is much more dense. We went to all new locations. I didn't want a feeling of repetition. It's all new sets. Everything is new. Villeneuve also touched on protagonist Paul Atreides' character arc in Dune Part 2, noting that the movie will chart Paul's evolution from student to leader. He said it himself. Contemplative movie? That's a key word for it was kind of boring. That's right. I didn't really understand Dune Part 1. I contend that nobody really understood it unless they'd read the books. That's what I've been saying. I've been too scared to say it with fervor, but Denis Villeneuve proved me right. So take that, internet. Suck my pennies. Okay. Next up, Aquaman 2. We got some more information about it. We'll start reading here. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom director James Wan just confirmed that the upcoming DC Universe blockbuster will team Arthur Curry with his villainous brother Orm Marius. This is stupid names. Wan revealed the Aquaman sequel's Arthur/Orm team up during Warner Brothers' CinemaCon 2023 presentation. Reports Collider. Orm was a villain in the first film, but this time around, Arthur needs him to stop a vengeful Black Manta from unleashing a powerful ancient evil, he said. Wan also described Aquaman and Lost Kingdom as a romance story at its heart between the two brothers, between Arthur and Norm. Also known as Ocean Master, Orm is the former ruler of the undersea kingdom of Atlantis, who was deposed and imprisoned by his half-brother Arthur in the original Aquaman movie. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of interesting. I remember liking Patrick Wilson in the first Aquaman movie, even though I don't really remember the first Aquaman movie that much. But I mean, I like Patrick Wilson in general, so I mean, him having a larger role to play and, him kind of teaming up with Jason Momoa, that sounds like it could be fun. I don't know. We'll see. Not really all that hyped about Aquaman 2 in general, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be interesting. All right. Next up, we got some first reactions from CinemaCon where they screened The Flash, so we actually have some like reviews here. Let's just read through some of them. This guy says Brandon Zachary was one of the people who got to see The Flash early at Warner Brothers last night, and it's wild, surprisingly funny, just as much a love letter to DC as it is about the nature of tragedy and acceptance. It's kind of great, and gonna set off so many fans in the best kind of way. Just watched The Flash at CinemaCon. It has some stuff in it you will not believe, and it showcases much more of Barry Allen's powers. It is indeed one of DC's best and fits nicely as a bridge story between the old and new DCEU franchises. It's also the funniest DC movie. Interesting that I've seen a lot of people bringing up how funny it is, so we'll see how that holds up. I'm happy to confirm that The Flash is the best DC film since The Dark Knight. Okay, buddy. The Batman exists. Don't know if you realize that, but okay, we'll read on. Keaton returns to his iconic role seamlessly and is joined by a league of familiar faces that fans will be super surprised to see. Kind of annoying, kind of spoilery, but okay. This is the potentially, I don't know, I haven't seen the movie. This is the kind of movie we need now. So this guy says, DC's The Flash is tremendous. Forget DC. It is without a doubt among the best superhero films ever made. An all-timer, inventive storytelling, fantastic action sequences, a great cast, so many nerdy details. I'm in tears at the end. Everything you want from a superhero film and more. This one is kind of weird. The Flash is fantastic. I know Ezra Miller has made a lot of mistakes, but they are so good in this movie. Just some mistakes, Ezra Miller, he just made some mistakes, assaulting people, breaking into their homes, allegedly grooming people, people. Yeah, just mistakes. Nothing, everybody makes those kinds of mistakes. But, he's good in the movie. So, he just made some mistakes. Anyways, we'll read on. Loved Keaton, the action, humor, and emotion. Andy Muschietti has crafted something special. Thumbs way up. WB didn't show the after credit scenes. Okay, the last one. The Flash is hands down one of the best superhero films of all time. No joke. The Flash is the ultimate movie-going experience, as it has a little bit of everything. Action, emotion, heart, humor, plenty of nostalgia. Ezra Miller is phenomenal as dual Barry Allen's. Stupid Twitter blue. He made a long tweet. Michael Keaton and Sasha Cale are very good also. This is a film that audiences will be watching over and over again. Oh, and avoid all the spoilers you can for this movie because there are some really incredible surprises that will truly blow you away. I cannot wait to see this again. All right, well, yeah, so generally speaking, from most of the reactions that I've seen, people are really enjoying The Flash. Again, I think it looks good. I just think that the CGI looks really bad. I don't know. And I'm definitely becoming more sensitive about that kind of thing where I'm like, dude, can movies just look good again, please? Maybe? I don't know. And this is kind of where I'm at right now. But if this movie is good enough, I'm sure I'll be able to look past that kind of stuff and appreciate it for what it is. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what I think about it. Not what we think about it, what I think about it when the time comes. Because my opinion is the only one that matters. All right, next up we got some more, I don't know what to think. Not worrying necessarily, but weird Ezra Miller comments here. All right, this is comments from the director. Per Vanity Fair, Muschietti spoke on Miller's mental health following a tumultuous time period that has seen the actor on the wrong side of the headlines. Miller has since apologized for their behavior, and the director says they seem committed to getting better. Ezra is well now, Muschietti said. We're all hoping that they get better. They're taking the steps to recovery. They're dealing with mental health issues, but they're well. We talked to them not too long ago, and they're very committed to getting better. Hold on, what? Is this not? Oh. I'm sorry. These are the wrong comments. Dang, I'm sorry. Hold on. Huh. These are the wrong comments. My bad. I guess I'm sorry. We're in live here. I'm probably just gonna have to skip the story because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it in time. But basically, I'm so sorry. So the comments that I was looking for were the director of the movie, Andy Muschietti, basically saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, Ezra Miller, he's one of the best actors that I've ever had the pleasure to work with. He was so incredible." Blah blah blah. Basically praising the actor. And I was going to kind of have an interesting conversation about if it's okay for the director to basically be praising Ezra Miller after all the things he had said. But I don't have those comments with me. I am so sorry. That's my bad. That is sincerely my bad. But either way, I guess I'll just say what I think on that. I think listen, I'm not gonna judge the director too hard for praising Ezra Miller. I mean, first of all, it's if he did a good job in the movie, he did a good job in the movie. Second of all, obviously he's not going to say too many negative things about Ezra Miller, considering that the movie still needs to come out and still needs to do well, at least from their vantage points. So I don't know. I kind of messed this up because I don't have the quotes in front of me, but either way, I guess I'll just say I don't personally have a problem with the people involved with the movie not saying super negative things about Ezra Miller, at least for now. But either way, I messed that up, so we're just going to move on to the next story. All right, so we got some new information about Kraven the Hunter, this movie that is supposedly coming out this year. Yeah, so I guess we'll just start reading here. Fan favorite Spider-Man villain Rhino has been confirmed to appear in the upcoming live-action film, Kraven the Hunter. Per discussing film, Sony debuted the first footage for the upcoming Marvel movie at CinemaCon 2023, featuring Aaron Taylor Johnson's titular character fighting the Rhino. According to the footage description, the Rhino injects himself with a serum that transforms him into a rhino-like monster, with the character's arm morphing into a big gray rhino-like fist that did look somewhat comic accurate. At this time, it is unknown who will be portraying the Rhino in Kraven the Hunter. This is kind of weird. And then, okay, so then going down here, Sony also confirmed at CinemaCon 2023 that Kraven the Hunter will be rated R, making it the first film in Sony's Spider-Man universe to receive that rating. Interesting. I don't know what to think about this movie. I mean, first of all, I haven't liked any of the movies in this new Spider-Man Sony universe, right? Those movies include Venom and Venom 2 and Morbius. I think they've all been pretty bad. So just on that front, I can't say I'm all that excited about this movie. But this does sound slightly interesting. I mean, giving it the R rating, not that being rated R makes something good inherently, but the fact that they're going to let Kraven the Hunter be as brutal and violent as, I feel a Kraven the Hunter movie should be. That's really cool. This wasn't in this article, but I did also hear that at one point in the footage, a Kraven actually bites a guy's nose off or something like that, which seems kind of fun. And then the Rhino thing is especially interesting because, first of all, would Kraven the Hunter be able to beat the Rhino? I don't know that any of the iteration of the character would be able to do that. So are they like severely powering up Kraven the Hunter or severely powering down the Rhino? I don't know. Also, maybe I could be off on that front. But yeah, so apparently they're going to fight. But then here's the thing. One of the possibilities that people have been hoping about when it comes to this Sony Spider-Man universe is that it would be in the same this universe should be in the same universe as the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. This description of the Rhino kind of proves that theory to be wrong, because if you'll remember, Rhino showed up in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 as a guy in a mech suit. If Rhino in the Sony Spider-Man universe of Marvel characters is just like a guy that transforms into a Rhino guy, then that kind of confirms it's not in the Andrew Garfield universe. Now, maybe there are two Rhinos. Maybe Paul Giamatti is in this movie again, although nobody said that he is. And that character has just has been retconned to being this Rhino monster guy. I don't know, but I do also just want to note that this does kind of point to it no longer being, or maybe it never was, in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man universe. So, we'll see what happens with that. But either way, Kraven the Hunter movie, kind of interesting. I don't know, maybe we'll see. It'll probably be terrible because it's Sony, but who knows? All right. Next up, apparently this guy Jack Dylan Grazer is going to be playing Hiccup in the live-action How to Train Your Dragon remake. All right, we'll start reading here. Universal's live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon may have found its lead in Shazam: Fury of the Gods star Jack Dylan Grazer. According to industry scooper Daniel Richteman, a rumor currently circulating has named 3 actors that are allegedly in talks to star in How to Train Your Dragon. Among those actors is Grazer, who is rumored for the lead role as Hiccup. So yeah, this is coming from Daniel Richteman. This guy's he's a pretty reliable scooper generally. So yeah, I don't know. I could totally see this guy playing Hiccup. I actually think it's a pretty good casting. So yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but we'll just have to see if it actually ever ends up being confirmed. All right, next up. Star Wars Jedi Survivor currently has an 86 Metacritic score, so it seems like people are enjoying it. We'll just read some reviews here. It might not be quite the narrative prowess of BioWare's Knights of the Old Republic, but Jedi Survivor has so much else going for it. This guy says, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Star Wars Jedi Survivor and would recommend it to anyone who is remotely a fan of the Star Wars universe, whether they're getting exposed to it for the first time or are of a certain age and have loved it since they heard Luke Skywalker whine about power converters decades ago. So yeah, critics seem to be enjoying it. Okay, this is one that's not so great. Star Wars Jedi Survivor does so much right in continuing Cal Kestis' story, delivering the best lightsaber combat in a game to date, along with some huge environments to explore. Sadly, it's also launching with a bevy of technical issues and frame rate problems that will provide the worst experience for early adopters. Players deserve better. So yeah, that's one of the things that seems to be going on with this. There seems to be a lot of technical issues. These are some user reviews. This guy says, that game is the biggest game disappointment this year. The game concept itself is much better than the first game. Okay, well, this game's absolutely atrocious. So then this guy is saying that it's because of textures and terrible frame rates. Yeah, this game would easily be a 9 or a 10 if not for the unacceptable performance. So yeah, that seems to be the case with this game, is that apparently the game itself is pretty great. But the terrible performance on PC as well as console, from what I've heard, is just not acceptable. Which seems to be the case for a lot of game releases recently. It's pretty sucky. So yeah, I haven't played it myself because I am poor and can't afford to pay $70 on this game. Nor do I think my laptop would for sure have trouble running it, considering that people are having trouble running it on their super expensive computers. And I can't afford to buy a console at the moment, so I will not be playing this, at least not for now. But yeah, kind of sucks that people aren't having great experiences with it as far as performance goes. Do better, games industry. I don't know. It's just kind of unacceptable. Also, it's just like what are we doing here? Like, how is it possible that it's just acceptable for games to release this way? And by the way, I'm not going at like the developers for this because I understand that making games is difficult. I'm talking about the publishers, right? The people that are making the calls of releasing games in these terrible states, because I understand that it's hard to make video games, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you are charging people $70. $70. That's a lot of money, okay? You are charging people $70 for broken games. Just to me, that's just unacceptable. But I probably on my own there, because I'm sure this game is going to sell millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of copies. And most people are going to complain about it, but they're still going to buy the game anyway. So I said that it was unacceptable, but as we've seen with all of these recent game releases, it kind of is acceptable because people buy it anyways. So I don't even know what I'm saying here. Oops, my camera. I have to restart it. I guess congratulations to EA for getting away with swindling people. I don't even know what I'm saying. next story. Okay. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning shifts its release date by like 2 days. According to Deadline, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 was originally set to release theatrically on July 14th, 2023, but is now coming out 2 days earlier on July 12th. Okay. I don't know. They did this with the Mario movie as well, where they released it on Wednesday. Now Mission Impossible is doing this as well. I don't know if this is going to become a trend or something. But hey, I will gladly watch this movie earlier. Okay. Next up. We have a new Batman animated show. So there's I believe this is a movie. This is weird. So this is, first of all, this is on Amazon Prime, but it says Merry Little Batman and offshoot Bat Family extended the streamer's deal with Warner Brothers Discovery after the 2-season order for Batman Caped Crusader. So yeah, it's coming from Amazon. So yes, it says here. Additionally, Amazon has picked up an original animated film, Merry Little Batman, and an animated spin-off series, Bat Family, both of which, like Caped Crusader, hail from Warner Brothers Discoveries, Warner Brothers Animation, and DC. So we're getting a movie in this art style. I think that's supposed to be Batman there on the left, and that's Damian Wayne on the right. And then that movie is going to then spin off into its own series. First of all, I'm not going to lie, I hate this art style. This just looks very unappealing. I'm not sure what the tone they're going for here. Like, is this going to be like a baby show, like actually made for babies, or are we adults that like Batman? Are we supposed to? Is this for us as well? I don't know. So I'm not sure if I should be like upset by this or just write it off because it's a show literally made for babies. I don't know. So I guess I won't say anything too strongly other than I'm kind of not interested. But we'll see. We'll see whenever a trailer comes out. Okay. Next up, we got some more information on Superman Legacy. Let's see. James Gunn said some stuff here. Okay, we'll start reading here. Gunn brought this up while speaking to The Hollywood Reporter, commenting, "It's easier to take a character nobody knows, like the Guardians of the Galaxy or Peacemaker, and then do whatever you want with them. People in every single country in the world know the story of Superman." The filmmaker went on to ask how he could make Legacy different from the Superman movies that have been made so far, but also have it respect all the Superman movies that have been made so far. He concluded by saying that it just took him some time to figure it out, and adding that Legacy isn't going to be a comedy, as Gunn is dedicated to bringing a genuine superhero movie to the silver screen. So, yeah, I think this kind of confirms what I've been saying for a long time now, in that I've never thought that Superman Legacy was going to be a traditional James Gunn-y movie, right? I never thought it was going to be like raunchy and super ultra comedic or anything. I've always been of the opinion that James Gunn is most likely just going to make a genuine Superman film. And that's mostly just because this movie is very important for DC, for the DCU. It's arguably the most important comic book movie in development right now because, this movie is either going to mark the death of the DCU or the success of the DCU. And I just figured that James Gunn would play it safe and just make a great Superman movie. And yeah, it seems like he's kind of confirming what I said, proving me right. As always, I am right. I am never wrong. Never doubt me. When will you learn that I am always right? But yeah, this is good to hear. We'll see ultimately what the movie is. Okay, next up, Mila Kunis debunks Fantastic Four casting rumors. So, we'll read this here. Kunis addressed the rumors of her being eyed for a part in the upcoming MCU debut of the Fantastic Four on the Late Late Show with James Corden, confirming, I am not in Fantastic Four. Rumors about her involvement, potential casting as the Thing, originated on social media. This casting was said to be linked to Marvel's intention to cast a Jewish actor as the character. While Kunis is not set to appear in the movie, she did admit that she knows who is, but wouldn't unveil this information as she didn't want to get in trouble with the mouse. So, interesting. Mila Kunis has confirmed that she will not, in fact, be playing the Thing. I don't know. But that was just one of the weirdest rumors that have come out. That not only would Mila Kunis not be, not only Mila Kunis was being rumored to be in Fantastic Four, presumably as Sue Storm. No, she's playing the Thing. I mean, I would personally love for that to happen only because that would make people really mad and that would be really funny. But like, I mean, first of all, I'll say this. I don't really care about Fantastic Four. Like, I've never liked those characters. Obviously, like, I never liked the movies. So I've always had a pretty whatever opinion on Fantastic Four. So even if, like, sincerely they wanted to go in a different direction with the Thing, I would be open to it because I don't care. So if you want to make a female Thing, sure, go ahead. I don't give a shit. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. But yeah, it would also just be funny. It would be really funny. So, but it looks like they're not doing that, unfortunately, in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But she's saying that she knows who is going to play the Fantastic Four, so that tells me that they do already have their cast. I just gotta wait for them to announce it. But yeah, that unfortunately is not true. Okay, next story. The Mario movie has officially made joined the $1 billion mark. Yeah, so not surprising necessarily. We all knew that after its success in the opening weekend and, you know, the legs that it's had, that it would be very successful. So yeah, Mario Brothers movie, a huge success. So we're obviously going to get a sequel to this. We're obviously going to get more Nintendo properties being adapted. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that we will be getting a Zelda movie at some point. And then yeah, we'll see, and I'm sure even more from there. So we'll have to see what happens. But for now, let's move on to the next story. Marvel's Blade adds the True Detective creator as a writer. So start from here. True Detective creator Nick Pizzolatto is set to reunite with Mahershala Ali for the upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe reboot of Blade. According to Hollywood Reporter, Pizzolatto has joined Marvel Studios' Blade as a screenwriter. Sources say that Pizzolatto is working off a previous draft of the film, penned by Michael Starbury, and has been writing his new version of the script for a few weeks now. Blade stars Ali as the eponymous vampire hunter, also known as Eric Brooks, and is currently targeting a September 2024 debut. The Academy Award-winning Ali previously starred as Detective Wayne Hayes in the third season of Pizzolatto's anthology crime series True Detective on HBO. So, yeah, whatever. I don't know. Listen, this project has been so tumultuous, and it's honestly in, like, Star Wars movie territory where there have been so many people coming in and out of this movie. It's been, it's been in development hell for so long at this point that whatever, sure, have this guy take a crack at it. He'll probably get thrown out at some point and replaced with somebody else. So at this point with Blade, I'm just gonna wait and see whenever the movie comes out, and if it's good, great. If not, whatever. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about this project at this point. So yeah, but I don't know. Hopefully this is the end of the line and this guy writes a fantastic script and it gets made, but I'm just not getting my hopes up. So for now, we'll move on to the next story. All right. We have an official first look at Batman Cape Crusader. So what's going on here? Sorry, I literally just added this before the show starts, so we're going to read a little bit of this. At a recent presentation, Amazon showcased 3 Batman shows currently in the works. One of those shows was Batman Cape Crusader. Unlike the previously released poster, mainly featuring the cowl, the new image shows the cowl and the suit beneath. Let me see. Is there any more information? Warner Brothers announced the series back in 2021 for HBO Max and Cartoon Network with the Batman director Matt Reeves. Okay, so yeah, we don't really have much else. So yeah, well, let's take a look at this image here. My page just froze. So that is bad, not good. Okay, there it goes. So yeah, we'll take a look at this tweet here. It's pretty blurry, but yeah, we can see Batman there. I mean, it looks pretty. It looks like Batman. I don't know what I was expecting necessarily, but there you go. Look at Batman. I like that he has the long ears. I think that actually looks pretty cool. But yeah, we can't really garner many more details from that. I don't know. It just looks like Batman. I don't know. It's really hard to garner any more details from it. But either way, I have to say I'm pretty excited for this because, you know, it's going back to sort of the roots of Batman the animated series. You know, you got the original guy back. What's his name? Bruce Timm, I think. You got him coming back, and yeah. So hopefully it's good. I'm intrigued. We will sit here and we will be waiting for a trailer at some point. Okay. Last story of the day. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Not getting the strongest reviews. So it's currently sitting at a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. And let's read some of these reviews here. So this person, Laura Clifford, says, Gunn falls into the usual Marvel trap. His climax overblown and overlong in a film whose 2.5-hour runtime could have easily been condensed to better overall effect. And that, along with some brutal animal cruelty, will make this rough sledding. Yeah, I've heard a lot about the animal cruelty, which is a little distressing. This guy says, the magic is a bit worn, the emotions and themes a little too familiar, but this team in front of and behind the camera, fictional and in real life, is still strong enough to deliver a still pretty entertaining and crazy space adventure film. This guy says, this is probably the most James Gunniest movie there could ever be. This guy says, or girl I should say, it is intense and grabs hold of the audience's emotions from the beginning to the end. Gunn's screenplay takes what we know and intricately weaves in backstory while enhancing the universe. I guess I'll start saying people's names. Avi Offer says, overlong, clunky and dull. It's high on schmaltz and visual spectacle while low on laughs, wit, and palpable thrills. Dorian Park says, its gripping storyline, flawless cast, chemistry, and stunning action and visuals make for an unforgettable movie experience. Paul McGuire Grimes says, it's hard to say if this is Gunn's true vision to end his trilogy or felt caught up in fitting his characters back into a universe that's now 32 films in. So Austin Burke says, this is a special MCU entry. These characters continue to show growth, and this finale ties so much together. Fans will feel so many things when credits hit, but it'll be hard not to smile. Rachel Wagner says, Marvel fans can relax because I enjoyed this latest entry and consider it a big step up from Volume 2. So, you know, reading on, it's pretty mixed, I would say. While, don't get me wrong, there are 78% is not by any means a bad score. Like that is a solidly positive score. And I will say, of the reviews that I've seen, a lot of them appear like this person here. It says, I regret to inform you that the Guardians of the Galaxy as you know them are dead. What remains in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 are flickering remnants of fun times, but mostly maudlin bullshit. The Misfit team's constant punchlines and I'm just busting your chops dynamic have grown exhausting. Wait, hold on. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, actually, I don't know. So before going, like, actually reading through these reviews here, I'd kind of noticed that a lot of the reviews, like, I'd seen a lot of people being upset because this movie is not as fun as the previous movies, and that I saw that a lot of the gripes had to do with the movie being more dramatic than it is funny as the previous two movies have been. Although, to be fair, just reading through a lot of those negative reviews, that's not really the case of what we just read. A lot of these people just don't think it's very good, which is totally fair. But But that does seem to be a thing about the movie, is that it is a lot more drama heavy, and apparently it's a lot more emotional than the previous two, which I don't know. For me, that's pretty exciting. But yeah, I guess if you're more into the more goofy side of the Guardians, then maybe this might leave you disappointed. But no, man, I am totally in for what, at least from what I gather, will be a very emotional ride. And just some stuff that I've heard, that I've gathered from the trailer. I imagine I will be crying at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I remain pretty excited for this movie. I think it is. I mean, it has to be great. Honestly, for where Marvel is right now, I feel like this movie has to hit with audiences. It's fine if critics aren't that into it, but like audiences have to be into it. They have to love it and, you know, go back and watch it again and again. I feel like for the sake of the MCU as a whole, just considering where we're at, because I'll tell you what, man, and I guess I'll just leave this. I'll wrap this up here. When we're talking about comic book movies as a whole, we got, you know, we got coming up. We got The Flash. We got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels. I'm like, man, these movies, they have to hit. You know? After we've gotten our, like a string of Morbius and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania and Shazam Fury of the Gods and Black Adam, like the comic book movie genre is not in a strong place. And listen, like I titled this video, you know, which is better, The Flash versus Guardians. No, these movies shouldn't. These movies, with the state of the comic book industry, both of these movies need to be great. You know, one of them can be better than the other. My guess is that Guardians is going to be better, but who knows really at the end of the day. They both need to be great. The Marvels, I think it looks like a lot of fun. It needs to actually be a lot of fun. Aquaman 2, I have no hope for that movie. That movie kind of also has to hit the same way that the first one did, at least, you know, financially, so clearly people enjoyed it. I don't know. At the end of the day, hopefully these movies are good. Hopefully I enjoy them. My enjoyment is the only one that matters at the end of the day. If I enjoy things, then the world remains spinning. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm tired. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm actually like kind of exhausted. But you know what? I have a responsibility. I have a duty to you to come here and deliver the nerdy movie news every week at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.